So you want to make a charcuterie board, but without the guesswork? Today we're diving into the art of charcuterie, but without the guesswork. I'm going to show you a step-by-step video on how to pick the perfect meats and cheeses to arrange your beautiful board. Whether you're hosting a party or just want to impress the family, I will show you how to create a beautiful charcuterie board effortlessly. So grab your favorite board and let's get right into the video. If you like rich and bold flavors, you're going to love this Bellavitano Cabernet cheese. I picked this one up at Costco. This was somewhere around $13, which is really good for the size of the cheese. I just cut it in half because I'm not going to be needing all of it. Face the flat side down with the purple rind up and then just start slicing. This is going to be really pretty when we go to layer it on the board. It's going to have such a gradient effect and will allow the slices to lay nicely, overlapping each other. Manchego Añejo cheese is a rich aged Spanish cheese that has a firm texture and nutty flavor. Halve the cheese, then slice triangles using its natural wedge shape. One of my favorite ways to style this cheese is to arrange the triangles in a back and forth pattern, alternating the direction that the triangles are facing. After that, you just place it on the board and it elevates the look of your cheese board. Mini brie bites are a great way to incorporate some soft cheeses into your board. I'm using this cheese knife and it helps so that way the cheese doesn't stick to the knife as easily as it would if it didn't have the holes. I'm using a back and forth motion since the cheese is at room temperature. It's a little bit softer and it's easier just to use that back and forth motion. I'm cutting it in half again, and then I'm just placing it around the board. I'm using the rest of the Bellavitano cheese from earlier. I'm taking the rest of the block and I'm just slicing it. I'm going to be using this and cutting it into triangles. It's easier to keep the slices a little bit thicker because when you go to cut it into triangles, it's best for styling so that way they stand up without falling. I like to stack all the pieces on top of one another so I can cut them all at once to ensure that all the triangles are the same size. Arrange the slices in that back and forth pattern that we used previously in the video. I really love using cheeses that have a purple rind for this type of cheese styling. Moving on to meats, I'm going in with some Italian dry salami. I'm folding in half again, and then overlapping it. Let me know in the comments what your favorite type of meat is to put on our charcuterie board. I'd love to hear your suggestions and ideas. This salami river fit perfectly right next to that Bellavitano cheese. There wasn't quite enough, so I added a little bit more just so that way it ended at the same spot the cheese did. Next, I'm going in with some peppered salami. I'm going to be creating a salami rose. And to do this, you take one slice of salami and place it halfway over the rim of the glass. Take another slice and overlap it with the first slice, continuing this process around the rim of the glass. Flip the glass upside down, gently wiggle it out, and then place it on your board. Let's add some carbs to this board using these multigrain crackers that I found from Trader Joe's. I added them between the Manchego cheese zipper and the salami rose. I also found these brioche toasts at Trader Joe's and I thought they would be the perfect addition to the board. Incorporating various crackers adds texture and variety to the board, enhancing its overall appeal and substance. I always love to incorporate fresh berries into the charcuterie boards, mainly blackberries and raspberries, and not only because of their flavors, they pair very nicely with the cheeses and the meats and the crackers, but also because of their colors. Use these to your advantage when making your charcuterie board and put them in spots that need a pop of color. Both blackberries and raspberries bring a unique flavor that complements the savory elements of a charcuterie board. Blackberries have a sweet yet slightly tart taste, while raspberries offer a more pronounced tartness with a hint of sweetness. Leave a comment letting me know what other kinds of fruits you want to see me incorporate. Cutting strawberries in half and leaving the tops on gives your board a pop of color and a little bit of greenery. Strawberries layered up next to the brioche toast gave a really nice contrast of color. I added a few more strawberries around the board and then I went in with some red grapes. I added a ramekin to the board for some fig butter that we'll be adding later. I layered up some triple ginger cookie thins to fill in a gap around the rim of the board. I'm also adding these mini dark chocolate mint stars to the board. I'm just incorporating them throughout the board to add a little bit of sweetness. Adding blueberries to a board complements the cheeses and meats really well. It also enhances the visual appeal and the taste variety. I love adding dried fruits to my charcuterie boards, but these sweetened dried oranges from Trader Joe's are by far my favorite dried fruit. I cut them in half and I place them throughout the board. Their sweet flavor complements the savory meats and cheeses on the board really well. I'm starting to fill in some of the gaps and spaces in the board, going back in with some strawberries and also some more of the sweetened dried oranges. Let me know in the comments down below what kind of charcuterie board videos you guys want to see. If you guys have any suggestions or topics that you'd like me to cover, be sure to leave a comment. I added some candied ginger to this charcuterie board. It gives the board a sweet and spicy kick. If you're not a fan of ginger, you could always substitute it with apricots or any other kind of dried fruit that you'd like. I added a few more of the dark chocolate mint stars on top of the candied ginger just to make it look a little bit fuller. These pomegranate flavored dark chocolates are a great touch to any charcuterie board. I'm also going in with some dark chocolate covered pistachios. These are from Trader Joe's. They're one of my favorites. And if you have a sweet tooth, it's a great way to incorporate nuts into a charcuterie board. As you begin to finish your charcuterie board, remember to fill in any gaps with smaller items like nuts or berries. Use color contrast to your advantage by placing vibrant fruits next to neutral cheeses or meats for an aesthetically appealing display. Let's add a little bit more sweetness with this dark chocolate bark from Trader Joe's. It has almonds, pretzels, and sea salt in it. I cut it up into jagged pieces and then I just place it on the board. This is definitely one of my favorite items from Trader Joe's. Fill in the last few spaces on the board. I'm using the sweetened dried oranges and blueberries. Last but not least, I'm going in with this fig butter from Trader Joe's, which pairs very nicely with everything on the board, and these sweet picante peppers with creamy cheese filling. They pair exceptionally well with the brioche toasts. Here's the final result of the charcuterie board. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I would love to see the charcuterie boards that you guys have created. Comment them down below so I can see what you guys made. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions, ideas, tips, tricks, or just anything that you'd like to see me add to my channel. I'd love to hear your feedback. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.